Throughout Donald Trump's presidency, Canada occasionally found itself in his crosshairs, especially during trade negotiations and tariff disputes. Trump once called Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau very dishonest and weak, and sharply criticized Canada over dairy tariffs, NAFTA, and perceived trade imbalances. But in a surprising turn, those attacks seemed to gradually fade away. So why did Trump suddenly stop attacking Canada? The answer lies in a combination of political strategy, shifting priorities, and economic realities. Trade deal secured. One of the biggest flashpoints was the renegotiation of NAFTA, which Trump called the worst trade deal ever made. His aggressive stance was part of a broader strategy to push Canada and Mexico into a new deal, what became the USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Once the new deal was signed in 2020, the tension eased. Trump got what he wanted, a rebranded agreement he could tout as a win, so there was no longer a need to publicly attack Canada. Focus shifted elsewhere. As his presidency moved forward, Trump faced a number of major issues that took priority: COVID-19, tensions with China, unrest within the U.S., and the 2020 election. Canada simply wasn't a high-stakes target anymore. Attacking an ally wasn't politically advantageous when larger global and domestic challenges were at play. Limited political gain. While being tough on China played well with Trump's base, the same couldn't be said for Canada. Canada is a long-standing ally, and continued attacks risked alienating moderate voters in U.S. businesses that rely on Canadian partnerships. The cost outweighed the benefit. Back-channel diplomacy. There's also speculation that behind the scenes, Canadian and American officials worked to smooth things over. Trudeau, despite being publicly criticized, avoided escalating the tension. Diplomacy helped cool the fire Trump had started, and without fuel, the attacks faded out. Trump's brand strategy. Trump is known for creating conflict points to leverage power in negotiation. Once the deal is done, or the leverage is no longer needed, he often moves on. Canada became a target only while it served a purpose in negotiations. Once the USMCA was signed, there was no longer a narrative or advantage in keeping the heat on Canada. Conclusion. Trump's shift away from attacking Canada wasn't out of newfound affection. It was a calculated political and economic move. Once his goals were achieved and the spotlight moved elsewhere, the criticism naturally died down. Canada went from being a temporary punching bag to a neutral background player in Trump's broader geopolitical strategy.